Wild boars are no longer just a concern for farmers. Now, they are causing nightmares all over the world, especially in the United States. Wild boars not only invade land, but also threaten communities, destroy crops, and endanger people. And today, we are on the road again, continuing the dramatic battle with this animal. Follow our team of hunters on their wild boar hunting journey and witness the thrilling moments of the chase. Early in the morning, we were at the edge of the forest, ready for a challenging hunt. We went deep into the dense forest. Just a few minutes later, the hunting dogs picked up the scent of the prey. Their barks echoed throughout the area, signaling that the target was very close. Following the sound, I headed towards a clearing between the trees. Through the foliage, I saw a herd of wild boars running in panic, trying to escape the fierce pursuit of the hunting dogs. Quickly hiding behind a large tree trunk, I raised my gun, aiming at the largest wild boar in the herd. It was running fast, but I waited patiently for the right moment. When it was clearly in my sight, I took a deep breath, held the barrel of the gun steady, and pulled the trigger decisively. The loud sound of the gun echoed in the deep forest. A fatal shot. This was not the first time we had set foot in this forest. As experienced hunters, we knew the habits and movements of the wild boars well. Therefore, in this area, many observation posts have been built, becoming ideal positions to help us monitor prey and hunt effectively. Choosing a nearby observation post, I quickly climbed up, stabilized my position, and was ready to wait. From above, my vision covered a large area, making it easy to detect even the smallest movements. Suddenly, a black shadow rushed past right in front of my eyes. Reflexively, I tightened the trigger. The wild boar was hit, stopped, and collapsed on the side of the road. Not wasting the opportunity, I quickly turned the gun to the left. At a distance of about 200 m, another wild boar was trying to run away. Taking a deep breath, I aligned my aim and pulled the trigger. This time, the target continued to be taken down neatly. As I left my hiding place, the quiet atmosphere was suddenly broken by a loud noise. Suddenly, from between the trees, a wild boar rushed forward with red eyes full of anger and a dizzying speed. It seemed like it had been waiting for this moment for a long time. Although it was a dangerous situation, with my extensive experience in hunting, I did not panic. Everything seemed to happen very slowly. I quickly realized the situation and calmly raised my gun. Aiming precisely at the vital point, I pulled the trigger without hesitation. The bullet hit the wild boar's head, causing it to collapse immediately. The number of wild boars was increasing. They appeared everywhere, surrounding my hiding place. Every movement in the forest made me highly alert. It felt like the whole forest was bustling with the presence of the herd of pigs. That was the opportunity one was waiting for. Everything was ready. Gun in hand, bullets loaded. I was just waiting for the opportunity to fire. One shot, one kill. Gunshots rang out continuously. Each wild boar fell mercilessly.
Good.
After taking down the herd of wild boars at the observation post, I didn't stop. The forest next door was still uncontrolled, and that was where I continued my hunting journey. I moved cautiously, avoiding revealing my position. Every step was carefully calculated. As soon as I entered the forest next door, the pack of hunting dogs that had been lying in wait began to bark loudly, signaling that the prey was not far away. With the support of the dogs, I easily took down 4 more wild boars, increasing my number of spoils.
Yes.
As soon as the gunshot rang out, a few wild boars in the pack realized the danger and hurriedly looked for a way to escape. However, I had already grasped their every move, and they could not fool me. I immediately adjusted my position and pulled the trigger. However, the bullet did not hit a vital spot, so they still had the ability to escape. However, its body was damaged, and its ability to move was severely reduced. In the end, it could not escape its fate of being destroyed. In the midst of the chaos, the remaining wild boars managed to find a way to escape, disappearing from our sight. But we were not worried. With the support of the hunting dogs, we quickly regained the initiative. After a short time, the dogs found their hiding place. The barking of the dogs echoed throughout the forest. I adjusted my sights, identifying each panicked prey within sight. And immediately, I pulled the trigger. The last wild boars were taken down, unable to escape. Wild boars, a wild animal that not only causes huge economic losses, but also threatens the environment and ecosystem. They reproduce at a dizzying speed, destroy crops, devastate forests, and cause heavy losses to farmers. In particular, they also have the ability to adapt quickly to all living conditions, making their control a huge challenge. Therefore, a comprehensive plan has been drawn up to prevent the invasion of this animal. The plan was implemented not only based on weapons, but also on the sophistication in setting traps and tracking the movements of wild boars. Everything was ready, and the dramatic hunt began. That day, we arrived at the meeting point. This was a large area of land where wild boars often appeared. I began to check the surrounding area, looking for traces of wild boars. Large, deep pig footprints imprinted on the wet ground led me to an area near a dense bush. This was where they often visited. After identifying the familiar paths of the pigs, I decided to set traps at these strategic points. The traps were cleverly designed, effectively capturing wild boars without causing harm to them. To attract them, I used corn and wheat as bait. The scent of these baits is irresistible to the wild boars. To ensure that the surveillance goes smoothly, I also placed some infrared cameras near the traps so that I can observe the movements of the wild boars at night. Once the traps were set, I moved to the neighboring area, where I could easily observe any movements without being detected. The whole team sat waiting, concentrating, preparing for the next attack. Using the remaining bait, I spread them out on an open field, then climbed a nearby tree to hide and wait. In my hand was the Henry carbine, a gun that stood out thanks to its fast-firing mechanism, ease of use, and powerful damage. 1 hour passed. At this time, I discovered a mature wild boar weighing about 90 kilograms approaching. Little did it know that this would be its last meal. I did not hesitate, raised my gun, aimed accurately, and pulled the trigger. The shot rang out. The wild boar collapsed to the ground. The remaining ones panicked and ran away, running in different directions. The chase began. I signaled to the team members, each taking charge of an area, coordinating closely to ensure that no one was left behind, while I continued to track and shoot down the large wild boars. The smaller ones quickly rushed into the dense bushes, trying to escape. However, with the speed and accuracy of the team members, they could not escape. Each shot was carefully calculated. A large male wild boar, with shiny black fur and sharp tusks, was taken down after an extremely accurate shot. I felt nervous, but also proud when I saw the spoils I had collected. After completing the chase, we went back to check the trap we had set earlier. I was quite surprised by the number of wild boars stuck in the trap. They were all large, adult animals. We handled each one carefully, making sure not to harm them when removing them from the trap. These wild boars weighed between 80 and 120 kilograms, with long, sharp tusks and bulging muscles. They were valuable trophies, but they also caused terrible destruction to the surrounding environment. After several hours of intense fighting, Together with the trap I had set the night before, we had brought down more than 40 wild boars. Quite an impressive result. However, this number was still nothing compared to the huge number of wild boars in the area. Wild boars reproduce very quickly, and if left unchecked, they will continue to destroy crops, causing great damage to farmers. We know that, although we have controlled it somewhat, without a long-term and sustainable plan, the invasion of wild boars will never end. Thank you for following this journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. See you in the next videos.
Awesome.